Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yeah, choo-choo!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. All aboard the murder train, pulling away from the station. And this is a murder-crazy train today. It is absolutely wild. Can't wait to tell you about it. But very quickly here. That's right. Fucking rock it out. Quickly, you definitely want to head over to shutupandgivememurder.com today. Get your tickets not only for the upcoming shows, 2 shows in Seattle at the end of March, 2 shows in Portland. We got Detroit, we got Pittsburgh, but March the 3rd, the rest of the tickets go on sale for the rest of the year. That's right, Chicago, Minneapolis, San Diego, Denver, Salt Lake, D.C., Dallas, Boston, Atlanta. Get your asses in here. Let's go. Chicago, that will be the biggest show of all time for us. So let's fill that bad boy up. You've never let us down before, Chicago. So let's do it. We cannot wait. Also on sale right now, tickets to the virtual live show. If you can't make it to a regular live show or you just need more live, virtual live show is the way to do it. Just like a regular live show, except you're in your living room and we're like our normal setup we would have at a theater, except you're in your living room. So fun stuff. Do that. It's on 4/20. I'm going to get Jimmie really stoned and make his head explode from laughter. So it's going to be A lot of fun.
Anniversaries of everything awful. Let's get stoned.
You want to be there for that. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Get all your bonus stuff there. Anybody $5 a month or above, you're going to get access to the whole back catalog of bonus stuff. Tons of episodes there and new ones every other week, including this week, where for crime and sports, we're going to talk about these early 1900s death row baseball teams.
For whatever reason.
Let's form a squad of doomed men, and we'll put an 8-year-old with them, too, because there's always an 8-year-old in the picture.
Let's give them their last smile and a child.
What happened there? And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about something really fun, defunct theme parks. Yeah, theme parks that didn't work and closed down because they were a dumb idea or they were in the middle of nowhere. So much funny stuff there we'll talk about. Can't wait for that. Patreon.com/crime and sports.
Right.
There we go. So now let's get into this. I think it's time to sit back. Jimmie, what do you say we clear the lungs? What do you think?
Where are you?
Where are you right now? I don't care where you are.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's say you're driving an 18-wheeler right now.
Oh,
that's right.
boy.
I'd like you to pull into the middle of the busiest intersection that you can. Honk that big
horn.
truck horn while you hang out the window and shout, "Shut up and give me murder." And then when you get out of federal prison, you can contact us and we'll give you a free T-shirt. Because they're going to think that you're probably going to ram that thing into something. Yeah. But that said,
Hope you had a 401k.
Let's go on a trip. What do you say? Yeah. Okay. We're going all the way to Idaho this week.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going way up north there. Going to Moscow, Idaho. It's in northwestern Idaho on the Washington border there.
Right.
It's all panhandle when you go up in that direction.
It is.
It is. Oh, it is. And literally and figuratively. It's about an hour and a half south of Coeur d'Alene, which was our last episode we did for Small Town Murder for Idaho. Population here, 26,128. And a lot of those are college students. There's a college here, so that's a big deal. Median household income, low, $35,979. A lot of that is college kids that make under $15,000 a year.
Of course.
And then median home cost, very high, $368,300. So
fuck, really?
Yeah, it's hard to make a living, and houses are very expensive. So it's difficult here. There is something, though, on the website for Moscow's, home website here. It says, quote, City of Moscow invites submissions for storm drain murals. So there is that. You can submit here.
Say again?
Submit your storm drain murals now, and you can apparently... They got to be in by January 30th, 2023. So this is over. I'm sorry you can't do it anymore, but they still have it on the website, which is pretty hilarious because I got that yesterday.
Storm drain. Don't you bury that?
Nope.
I guess that's why you
slap
can
a
paint
mural
it.
on that bitch. Let's go.
We're going to put it underground anyway.
Shit. Quick history here. The late 1860s, early 1870s is when this place was kind of, settled by people coming from the east. Miners and farmers were the first people there. They have a lot of camas or camas bulbs. Shit that grows in the ground. I don't know.
Camas?
Camas? C-A-M-A-S? Camas? I don't know. Apparently that's
never heard of it.
What pigs like to eat.
Okay.
That's because we're not pig farmers, I think, here.
Right.
So they called this
I thought
place.
they ate people.
Well, if you feed them. Pigs will eat pretty much anything. So I don't see what the difference is.
I've never seen anything that pigs eat other than slop and people.
That's it, man. And old sandwiches and shit. So I see bread crusts in there. I guess, it's in their slop. There's always like bread crusts I always see and carrots. So they called it Hog Heaven, this area, because it was so great.
Okay.
They opened up a post office in 1872. The town was called Paradise Valley at that point.
Oh.
And then they changed it to Moscow fucking 3 years later. So
These are two entirely different places.
Exactly. There's many legends of how the town got its name. Some say it's from a Russian settler that wanted to make it like that. Other story is that early settlers, 5 local men, met to choose a proper name for the town but couldn't agree. So then the postmaster just completed the official papers and chose it himself because he was from Moscow, Pennsylvania. So, again, a place that's named after a place that was originally named after a place. So
you can't do that.
It's what happens 100 times on this show so
I
far.
know, but it's not okay.
No, we're not surprised by it. Reviews of this town. Here we go. 5 stars. I love the small college town of Moscow in northern Idaho. The community is welcoming and friendly, probably the most hospitable town I've ever lived in. Ever. The weather is wonderful to walk in, and walking around the scenic town is my favorite pastime.
Yeah, I've always heard college towns are hospitable.
Very hospitable.
That's what I think of when I think of college kids.
They're awfully hospitable. Well, they will give you, like drugged Mad Dog 2020, and then
they're very hospitable with their herpes.
Yeah, they're hospitable. Very, very hospitable with that. Hosyphilisable. That's what they are. I'll give you that. So 3 stars. I love Moscow. It was where I was born and raised and has kept me doing the great things I want to do. All right, then.
Okay.
They have great people and a good organization that pushes you to great lengths. A good organization? Who's pushing you?
Great.
What are you talking about? A lot of undercover fun people live here as well. What the fuck does that mean? Is that a gay thing? Is that a drug thing? I don't know what.
Is that a swinger thing?
Is that a swinger thing? Is that like I don't know what that is. Undercover fun people.
They wear polo shirts, but when it comes off, watch out.
Let us know what the shit that means when they get off the ski slope. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's 3 stars. I haven't had personal issues, but have heard rumors on the area.
Ooh.
That's it. No explanation of what those rumors are.
I want more.
I really need to know the rest of that story. Maybe it's just like a teaser. They want you to ask questions. Here's 3, the 3 stars. The police are not willing to put the work in to keep things safe. They won't go outside, apparently. They just stay inside, and they're like, I don't know. Fuck it.
They like to write traffic tickets, and that's it.
Here is a 1 star. Lock You Bike is the title of it.
Oh, somebody lost a bike.
Lock You Bike. After living in urban areas all my life, this place is like no other. It's like going back in time 30 years where children can play outdoors and people watch out for each other. There are some bike thefts and car prowls, but overall it's a very safe place to live and work. This, by the way, had 147 agrees and 230 disagrees. How dare you say a bike was stolen? So they're a little sensitive here.
1 star, and they didn't even attack it that hard.
That's what I mean. That sounds fine, right?
Yeah.
I've heard there are some bike thefts, so it just cancels out everything else that's good there. Things to do, the Moscow Hemp Festival.
Okay.
Got to have that.
Just hemp?
Just hemp. It's the annual cannabis event held in Moscow, Idaho.
Okay.
And it began as part of the University of Idaho's Moms Weekend. That's where they started. Come on, moms. Come on down to the Hemp Fest. It advocates for medical marijuana. There's a music lineup. Yikes. The Bluegrass Jam Band.
Yeah.
The Joy Junkies. The Jason Perry Band. These are all locals, by the way. I see Moscow, one's from Spokane. Yeah. Like it's not too far. So you need to be
hippies.
You need to be stoned to enjoy this music, is what I'm getting at. So that's fine. It's probably just a lot of Fish covers.
Yeah.
That said, let's talk about a murder. What do you say here, Jimmie?
To, yeah.
Okay. Let's go back in time here a little bit. Not very far. We're talking texting, pre-Instagram, post-texting, 2007.
2003. Oh, okay.
So
that's close. Good
times here. This is a good time. You had a video camera on your phone, but every asshole you met since high school couldn't bother you at the same time. So it was also, I think, a good time.
Facebook was jamming, though, and that shit, man.
Facebook wasn't open to the public until 2008, I don't think. Early 2008.
No.
It was for colleges before that. Yeah, this was MySpace times.
It was still MySpace.
MySpace. And this was like, there's no app for MySpace. It was just you had to go to myspace.com.
Right.
Didn't really work great on your phone. Therefore,
awesome.
Fuck off. Yeah, it was great.
You don't have my phone number, eat shit.
Yep. Here is John Joseph Delling. Let's talk about here. Okay. He is 21 in 2007, and he's an interesting cat. We'll discuss him. His father's a Vietnam War hero, actually. He saved 3 fellow soldiers in a heroic event that happened. But he also had pretty bad PTSD as well. So, and it turned into what they would call debilitating mental illness, a doctor said. So wasn't great. He also had an uncle that's obsessive compulsive disorder, like very bad, and had other mental issues as well. And so he's got some issues coming from his father's side of the family on the mental front here. Kids in the neighborhood where he grew up referred to his father as Crazy Ray and made fun of the family all the time, and of course would target young John for being Crazy Ray's kid. And,
Part of it, yeah.
Part of it. Yeah, you're part of that goofy family from over there.
Right.
So he, a friend of his named Daniel Velasic here said that he grew up playing with Delling, and he said that he ended up going to college with him all the way to U of I. And he said John was really active. He loved to mountain bike. He was a great mountain biker. Velasic went on to say he was not angry or violent or into guns. He seemed like a regular kid who liked to play video games and be outside. Okay, that's normal. He said, though, around high school, there was what he called a definite shift there for him. He says of Delling, quote, I really started noticing personality and mental changes in John. He became unstable, wary, very paranoid. He said that Delling often spoke about, quote, stuff in his head. Oh. Whenever people refer to their brain as their head, I always know that something's really wrong in there. When someone goes, my head's just not right now, man, you run in the other fucking direction.
Because they're not talking about blood and brain, which is the only thing in there.
They're talking
about
an alien that lives there.
Yeah.
Or, the possum that crawled in there
yeah.
and had a baby and now it lives in there and it's controlling his thoughts. Shit like that.
Scratching.
Scratching. He said, Velasic went on to say, he mentioned writing a paper that detailed what was going on, quote, in his head. He referred to it as the paper.
He's got the paper.
The paper.
You know what one he's talking about when he says the paper.
The paper. The shit that's going on right here, pal. Up here. Whoa. They think he's a paranoid schizophrenic is what the problem is.
That's what it sounds like.
That develops here. Started displaying symptoms at 16, which is about the right time for that as well. They said that, or a little early, I guess, too. They said that he became entrenched in an elaborate delusion that a group of children in the area had begun to, what he called, steal his energy. Oh. Yes, and that energy theft would kill him if he allowed it to keep going on, obviously. That was what he said. I can't allow this to continue. They're killing me.
That's what I said when I was married.
Yeah.
They're killing me.
You're stealing my energy. Do you understand that?
You're sucking my life force.
You're just sucking it out of me, man.
The whole world. These aren't even his kids, though.
Yeah, he doesn't even have kids. He's 17.
Right. He's a child.
Hanging out. Holy shit. He had a bit of a problem with a young man at a high school party. I guess they got in an argument at a party. So he would continue to have ongoing problems with this kid.
This created a beef, yeah.
Whenever he saw him, there'd be problems. This kid called them occasional hallway tussles with Delling, and one including an incident where Delling threw the kid down the school stairs.
Oh, that's heavy.
Which is more than a tussle. I call that. I put that in the attempted murder column as opposed to the tussle column.
Certainly intention of causing great bodily harm.
If I have lists and there's like tussles over here and attempted murders over here, that's one dash for attempted murder. This guy,
nobody ever thinks throw somebody downstairs, they'll be fine after.
Yeah, they'll be all right.
You push elderly and pregnant down there, and there's always a consequence that's fucking scary.
Yeah, babies and shit. Like, fell down the stairs, I guess. That's what murderers would do.
Youth or elderly, they always die from that.
Fuck. So this Meyer guy, he's the guy who got thrown down the stairs. Mm-hmm. He said he ran into Delling at least 3 times a week. He said that Delling's Ford Taurus often appeared in his rearview mirror as he was driving. Jesus Christ. Then, in 2003, it got worse. Apparently, Meyer and his friends saw Delling, and Delling was in his car near the Albertsons grocery store, like outside the grocery store. So Meyer said they gave him the finger and then just drove back to their friend's house.
Okay.
Fuck you, bro, and they drove off, right? They said they were sitting at their friend's house in their Volkswagen Cabriolet.
Hell yeah.
That better be a girl driving. Let's just say that. That you better be in the car with a young lady. I'm just going to say.
Such a cool car.
If you're a 16-year-old girl, it's the coolest car in the world. Yeah. But in high school, when we were in high school, a chick who had that car, that was badass.
Shit.
You're like, oh man, she was a prize. She was a prize. She could be hideous. It didn't matter.
Yes, her.
Fucking convertible and shit. Yeah. So I guess these boys were sitting in the cabriolet when Delling here, Johnny, pulls up, gets out of his car with the club,
Oh, the steering wheel club?
Yes. If you don't know what that is in the 80s and 90s what people would put on their steering wheels. It's a metal bar with like a very thin rubber coating on it.
And it's very long so that it prevents car theft because if you can start the car, it will not turn because that bar prevents it. Hits the fucking door, hits the seat, hits your lap. It can't turn.
It can't turn, so you're stuck. Right. You can't steal the cars. It's an anti-theft device, and it's a vicious weapon. I mean,
oh boy,
it's a metal
you can't
fucking
cut
bar.
It.
No, it's a metal bar, man. It's got that grip on it too with the rubber. Yeah. It's not good. That rubber won't help the person you're hitting, but it'll help you grip it better. So he comes over, and Meyer said, quote, he was shaking and going frantic, talking about Delling. He said that my friend kept yelling at me to drive and to go, and Delling started shattering all the windows, the whole time screaming, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you.
Blasting with the club.
With the club. I believe him. If he's breaking out your windows with the club, yelling, I'm going to kill you, he is trying to get to you to kill you. That's what's going on there. So Delling then reached through the broken windows to swing the club in the car to hit them with it.
Oh, my.
No regard for his own safety or broken glass or anything like that. Meyer and his friend were both bruised up because he hit the shit out of him. A cabriolet is tiny. Yeah. You swing a club back and forth, you're hitting everything in that car. The windshield, the back seat, all of it, one swing.
You're taking the rearview mirror, and the fucking back
all
window.
of it, breaking the tape player, because I assume it's got a tape player in it.
Tape deck.
So Delling gets arrested for that. He pleads guilty to misdemeanor battery and malicious injury to property. He pays restitution. He spends a couple days in a juvenile detention center and gets less than a year of probation. And he's ordered to stay away from the people he beat with the club.
That's so minor.
Very minor. When he was 17, Delling, by the time he's 17, he started hitting himself hard enough to leave bruises on his head. He'd punch himself in the forehead. Yeah, till he left bruises.
That's so scary to
Fight
see
Club
that.
style.
Yeah.
He would pull his own hair out at weird intervals. He'd just start yanking his hair out, and he believed others were, as he put it, stealing his aura, as his mother later said.
Where are his parents to put him, take care of him?
We'll hear from them. His mom, Carol, said that he started telling them that people were stealing his aura. He'd start punching himself in the forehead and go, they're stealing my aura. And she'd be like, whoa.
He's so sick.
Well, this isn't good at all. The one example here, the neighbors of theirs, the Thompsons, who, by the way, was an elementary school teacher of John, so she's known him forever, the woman in the relationship there. They were eating dinner when they saw the Delling family next door burst into a fight. Okay? The parents, I guess, had gone to look at a motorcycle that John wanted, but they didn't buy it for him. So the Thompsons remember watching Delling freak out, push his father to the ground, grab his mother's purse, and throw it across the street.
I want that motorcycle.
That's just a freak out. That's what a 2-year-old does when they have a tantrum, except it's a 17-year-old, so it's dangerous.
That's a 17-year-old incapable of handling their emotions.
And
a 2-year-old, when they do it, it's perfectly harmless because
you can just pick them up and put them in a little cage called a crib and go, there you go.
Buckle them.
Yep.
Buckle them right in.
There you go. Yeah, you're turning all sorts of red. That's not good. You're going to have a headache later. Anyway, just go about your business. So the Peggy Thompson, who was his old teacher, said she'd known him since he was a little kid, so she went over there, but she said nobody knew what to do. He was beyond himself. He's also arrested and charged with battery and stalking, which we'll talk about in a second here. He does have a best friend, though.
Oh.
So he's not alone. He's not a loner. He has a few friends. That's the thing. And his best friend is nothing like him at all. His best friend is like a nice, upstanding kid that everybody likes. It's a very odd couple that they're pals.
It's the best friendships.
It happens sometimes.
They should be opposite.
I guess so, right?
I don't know if perfectly well-adjusted and insane
That's
are the best combination.
And swinging a club through a broken window after you threw your mother's purse across the street is a different story. So this guy's name is David Robert Boss, and he's, his age, grew up and attended school. They're from Boise, these kids in this area. Yeah. They graduated from Timberline High School in 2003. This kid, Boss, was a lacrosse player. He ended up going to the University of Idaho as well. He had a radio show on campus, and he was big into soccer and shit like that. So sports, he does things. He's social. He's got friends.
Very likable.
And he's this guy's best friend. They met right after, I guess, the Dellings had come from California, and when they were little, and they met up and they were friends since then. This was kindergarten. And so David, who kind of took on the role of his protector, he'd stick up for him when people would say, oh, your dad's crazy and you're a loser, and he'd stick up for him. His mother, John's mother, said John absolutely loved Dave. He loved Dave. He's his best friend. They were very best pals since they were in kindergarten or first grade. Now, Carol has a husband that's completely disabled by mental illness from Vietnam and a son who's doing what we just described. So she said it was wild. She said also people would always prank phone call them all the time, too.
Oh, shit.
She said John was threatened at school and isolated himself from everyone but a couple of friends. She said, I feel like it was the impact from the other kids at school that put a dark cloud on him. And she also begged the probation officers to get him mental health treatment, and it never happened. She asked the judge, please make that part of his probation, that he has to get mental health treatment, and they never did it. So
will he not do it on his own, and she is incapable of forcing him?
I guess she tried to get it court ordered, so it's like, well, if you don't do that, then you got to go to jail, and either way, it's not my problem at that point. I feel like maybe. I don't know. She's up to her fucking neck right now in mental illness, and it's tough.
Not stable in the house.
It's got to be hard for her, Now, once they went to college, I guess once Richard Boss went to college in 2004, I guess there was less contact between them, Delling and Boss there. Delling visited Boss there in Boise during Christmas break in 2006, though. They got back together. They said, though, Boss said that after Delling left on Christmas there, he was concerned for Delling's mental state. He said he was acting irrational and delusional. Now, John goes to college. His parents send him to college, which seems terrifying. Yes. Several contacts there with the police. In March 2005, Delling reported he'd been the victim of an assault, and there was no leads in the case, and it didn't go anywhere. Later that month, he is cited for misdemeanor disturbing the peace after he threatened with violence residents of the UI's Wallace complex of dorms where he was living. So he threatened a bunch of other people in the dorms. It was a verbal confrontation, and the charge was later dropped. He was kicked off campus, though, because he kept persisting with fighting with these people. So it's a bit of a mess. He also is convicted of misdemeanor battery after trying to run over a 13-year-old boy with his motorcycle.
Oh, fantastic. He did get the bike.
Eventually, he got the motorcycle. You gotta push Dad to the ground and show him who's boss, I feel like. He'll get you a motorcycle at that point. So he spends more than 2 months in jail and has at least a year of probation after that, and court-ordered anger management as well, which I think he's beyond anger management.
Right, and he doesn't do well with processing thoughts because the idea of hurting somebody with your motorcycle is bananas. If you run someone over, that's going to cause so much damage to you.
Well, we have the whole story too, because that kid who he ran over, the mother of the victim there will tell us more about it. But basically, the kids were sitting around and they were stealing his aura, and he got pissed off and yelled at a 13-year-old. And it was a group of kids. It was like her 3 kids, and he went over and ran the 13-year-old over to the point where he had motorcycle tire marks up his leg and going to his back. And then the kids all beat the shit out of him. The 3 kids beat the shit out of him after that. They knocked him off the bike and punched him and kicked his ass. So it's pretty funny, actually. He gets his ass whooped by it. So it's a bit of a mess. In June 2005, he pleads guilty to stalking 3 Boise men as well, and he's going to have to complete 80 hours of community service. I guess he what a mess. He had he had peeled out, I guess. Delling repeatedly peeled out in his cul-de-sac in his SUV and on his motorcycle. So the neighbor here, Sweeney, says it happened a 3rd time, and I jumped in my Yukon and I chased him down the street. Calm down, calm down, Hopper, jumping in your SUV to chase a guy. He said he later found the tires on his Yukon were slashed. So he assumed it was Delling, but he couldn't prove it. And then Delling had several run-ins with Sweeney and his neighbors, and Sweeney said that he and 2 neighbors filed a police report, and that's when Delling was arrested for a stalking charge. The other men, put security systems and surveillance shit on their house because they were scared. Sweeney said, I was pretty alarmed at the guy being around. He was just one of those very scary people. I'm certainly not surprised at anything that he could do. So, yeah. Wow. August of 2006, he posts something very weird on a website of the National Association for Christian Recovery, which provides resources for Christians battling addiction or trauma.
Oh.
The post is titled, quote, Demon Possession.
Hell yeah.
All right.
That's a good place to put it.
Perfect. So this is what he says, and it's interesting here. Okay. Quote, the last thing I remember was that saying God gave me strength and power. So I am hoping to get some answers. People/demons have done things to me, have led me to where I have no human emotions or memories. Whoa, is first of all. Just wow, that's a lot. That's quite the opening.
What have they done?
He's not burying the lead. I'll give him that. That's good. He said,
no, and he's also leading with, I have the personality traits of a serial killer. Now.
Let me explain this to you. That's what I mean. And then a big Bill Cosby, now. Now. One of those. So he said, I feel very weak, and I can't think, feel, or remember. He doesn't use punctuation much, so it's difficult to. I believe that I have died. Okay. There is a repetitive theme in my mind that I saw the future, and people will wipe my mind and wake me hours later. Then all capital letters, not joking, please listen. Just a capital break, just for in case you weren't reading. And in case that didn't get your attention, first of all. Believe me, we're reading, kid.
I'm out of my mind. Please help.
Yeah, he said, not joking, if I wear a yellow shirt. That's what happens if he wears a yellow shirt. Okay. He believes that he's dead and he's going to be wiped out and all that stuff. Okay. I have been attacked and abused, discriminated against by many people for no apparent reason. There was a weird event about people putting Jew and Nazi memories in my mind. What? Putting like World War II era memories from long dead people, apparently, in his mind.
Planting those seeds while he sleeps.
And then this guy named Sweeney, that's the guy from the neighborhood with the Yukon, this guy named Sweeney, which is the name of a person who dropped one of the bombs on the second plane.
Oh, no.
I guess he may be a relative. Or Sweeney's a very common last name also. Yeah. Put a whole lot of the yellow spinning energy into my solar plexus, and then I was sacrificed by possibly a vampire cult as the Sun King or something like that.
Oh, God.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but his delusions involve also real people, and that is frightening.
That's what's terrifying. It's not just in his head. He projects it onto other people.
Right.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sonobello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sonobello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sonobello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's SONOBELLO.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Right, he's relating that to reality.
I'm going to read again what Sweeney did to him. Put a lot of the yellow spinning energy into my solar plexus. Yellow spinning energy. Then, he's got a thing with yellow. Then I was sacrificed by possibly a vampire cult. Maybe, not sure. You know how those things are. Yeah, they're very fluid. As the Sun King, he's the Sun King, and they sacrificed him, or something like that. I don't know. Something similar. I don't know. You can't put a tail on
That's
it, really.
What I've gathered so far, if you can help and relate this.
Then he says, this sounds crazy, but please tell me how I can feel and remember things again. I like short-term memory especially. Thank you.
I miss it.
So he's asking for help.
Yeah.
In his own weird way. I mean, he's laying it out there. Look, dude, this is what's going on. How the fuck do I get out of this?
And he's reaching to the most stereotypically welcoming group.
Yeah.
I mean? This seems like a group that should be able to.
Maybe they know something
also,
about.
You're all addicts. You know what the fuck's happening.
It's addicts and Christians. Maybe you know something about vampire cults or sun kings. Maybe you can guide me in the right direction. Get this yellow spinning energy.
Of any of this.
Solar plexus energy. You ever heard of? No? Okay.
How much is a lot of yellow spinning?
No, shit. Neighbors said when they moved, the Dellings moved to a different house, they were very happy that they moved out of the neighborhood. They noticed him. Wow. They moved from Boise, and then they ended up moving to Sacramento, California, the Sacramento area. They noticed him in his car on 0-degree mornings sleeping in his car.
Okay. Which
is not normal. They said that was weird. So by 2007, Jesus Christ, his brother, Eric here, said the last time he had talked to him was 2 or 3 weeks, earlier than when they talked to him here. They said, I haven't talked to him in weeks. And they said, Eric said that during the visit, John asked him, quote, do you think David is the one stealing my powers?
Oh, boy.
Meaning David Boss, his best friend.
Yeah.
So Eric said that it wasn't the first time that Delling had commented on someone stealing his power or stealing his aura. And at that point, Eric, his brother, said that he, quote, believed John had really lost it. Yeah. He said John was so upset he went out of control and damaged the bathroom in his parents' residence. They had to call the cops.
Broke up the bathroom.
Just started busting the bathroom up, knocking the soap dish off the wall. I don't know what is real mirrors, I guess. Yeah. The bathroom's a lot of hard surfaces that are hard to break.
Is.
So
very few things that you can just punch and break.
That's what I mean. Outside of the mirrors, I don't know what you're rip the medicine cabinet door off. Throw it across the street with mom's purse.
Water fixtures out of the drywall.
I guess that's all you can do, really. So they called, the cops. He also had guns too. He doesn't need guns. So the family took away his guns and sold them,
and sold them.
Yeah, got rid of them, out of the house. He can't be around him. So March 20th, he ends up in Tucson, Arizona. This is part of a little journey that he's going to go on, a 6,500-mile journey where he goes.
Walkabout.
He flies. He goes on trains. He rides buses. He's on bicycles at some point. He's just. It's the weirdest
form of transportation.
Everything you can imagine. He's just gumping across the USA here. So there's a guy named Jacob Thompson, and they knew each other in high school.
Yeah.
So they haven't talked in a long time.
Yeah.
But Delling apparently tracked him down on the internet and found him in Tucson.
Yep.
And it's very weird. I guess Jacob Thompson, was in his home, and they said there was tapping on his window at his house.
Oh, no.
So he looked out, and it was a guy telling him he needed to move his truck, which was parked out in front of his house. So he's like, oh, maybe there's something going on, whatever, I don't know. So he went out to move his truck. So he said as he moved the truck, he saw a man sitting on a bicycle. And Thompson said he asked the man on the bicycle, are you the one who wanted my truck moved? And he said the man on the bicycle approached him and fired 5 times into his driver's side window.
Oh, my God.
Fired a gun 5 times. Thompson was hit 3 times. 1 bullet hit him in the face and lodged in the back of his head.
Shit.
And he survived. He survived. He survived. He's a University of Arizona student. He survives and does well enough to be able to identify Delling in a lineup later on as well.
It's his friend from then.
He knew just his friend from high school. He said, what's he up to? And then tracked him down 1,000 miles away, 1,500 miles away. And
tried to kill him.
Tried to kill him for no reason.
For nothing.
No reason. And then he moves on. They didn't arrest him. He takes off. He goes about his journey.
Okay, yeah.
So sometime between March 26th and 28th, he ends up in Boise again, Delling, and he buys a .38 caliber handgun while he's there.
Perfect.
March 31st, 2007, he's driving a white Chevy Aveo 4-door here that he got from...
bad car.
That's a shit car, man.
Oh, boy.
He got it from an Enterprise rent-a-car in Boise.
Yeah.
And so the Saturday, March 31st, it's just after midnight, so Friday night still, at 2:12 a.m., Delling calls David Boss at his apartment in Moscow and says, hey, what's going on? And he says, I'm in Moscow. I'm, hanging out. So Boss tells him, well, yeah, I guess come over. Sure.
I got to show you this hilarious car.
Yeah, I got to show you. Yeah, it's so bad. What a piece of shit. You're going to love it.
The review of the car was, Chevy's so embarrassed they only put their logo on this 3 times.
It is a real piece of shit.
It's a bad car.
It's a bad car. So he comes over to the house here. 12:12 is when the call comes in. And by 12:30, David Boss is found by his roommate, shot twice in the head in his apartment.
That was fast.
They think that Boss opened the door for him. Delling walked in and immediately shot him twice and left.
Oh, my God.
Didn't even have a conversation with him, they don't think, here.
What is happening?
It's crazy. His roommate found him. They found jacketed hollow point bullets, spent jacketed hollow point bullets from a .38 revolver on the scene.
Jesus.
And 1 gunshot wound was found to the left temple, and that's the first one. The second one is in the rear at the base of his skull, back of the head. He just put the gun. He shot him once and then came up and made sure, put it in the back of his head. The first shot was from 6 to 8 inches away. Yep. So, an apartment, close proximity. And the second shot was about 1 inch away. Just
oh, dear Lord.
Powder burns and everything, man. It's fucking crazy.
That's a lot of gun.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. So this trip includes 6,500 miles. He was in California, Idaho, Oregon, Utah, Washington, Arizona, Nevada. Just
all over it.
Going on. He's not finished yet, though. He leaves Moscow now, where he shot his best friend, and he drives down to Boise.
Yeah. He
ends up down there, and on April 2nd, he's in Boise, and there's a guy named Bradley Winter Morse, like Morse code, Morse. He's Brad Morse. Brad's born in 1982. He's a couple of years older than Delling here. He has 4 sisters. He grew up in Meridian, Idaho. He has no connection to Delling. They didn't grow up together.
They don't know each other.
Yeah, he's a real nice guy, though. Good student. He's honored on senior night by his teachers with the award for Outstanding Foreign Language Student in Japanese.
The man speaks Japanese.
Yeah, he played tennis. He was awarded Most Improved Player by his coach. He wrote an essay that was selected as one of the best in the nation and won a trip to Washington, D.C. from that. He was an elder in the church of, he's a Mormon, elder in the Mormon church. He served as a missionary in West Virginia, Ohio, and Virginia, and has position of leadership in the church. They said he's a little bit shy, but just the nicest kid in the world. He gave up his scholarship to work for a year and a half doing computer tech support to save up enough money to pay for his mission.
Jesus.
Yes. And then when he left for his mission, he gave his car to a young man whose mom had terminal cancer so he could take her to her appointments. I'm not even kidding. So he's a junior at Boise State, majoring in computer science. He met Morse on a gaming website.
Oh.
He also likes to gamble, this kid. So, it's not a bad thing.
That kind of gaming or like video gaming?
I don't know. Gaming. I assumed it was... it could be video games.
It's probably video games.
Could be video games. So either way, it's some kind of website they met on, and they never met in person. They don't know each other.
Don't even know what each other look like.
Delling used the internet to find out where he was, track him down.
Oh, boy.
Finds out. Now, Morse works at the Parks and Rec building in Boise. He works for the city. And at 9:31 p.m. on April 2nd, he ended his custodial shift and there. And he I guess he set off an alarm leaving by accident when he was leaving the place. Gets outside. He is shot in the head, 2 gunshots to the head for this Morse guy. Outside, right when he leaves his place. He walks out of his workplace and he's shot in the head. Then Delling takes him, drags him, and throws him in a pond.
What the fuck?
That's just off the Boise River or something. So, yeah,
there's no reason for any of this.
No, he doesn't even know this guy. But apparently, who knows what he was thinking on this website, this guy was stealing his aura through the website. You know what I mean? I don't know if he beat him in he had a better run at Vice City than him, and he was pissed, or San Andreas or whatever.
What about the guy in Tucson? Like, how are these people draining him?
That's what in his mind, whatever it is, that one guy that I was in math class with in the 11th grade is stealing my aura right now. I haven't talked to him in 7 years, but
I feel it.
I can feel it. I better look him up and go kill him. It's another level of insane. So
holy shit.
So the next morning at 9:53 a.m., Idaho Parks and Rec employees discover a body in the pond, and it's identified as Bradley Morse. But 9:31 is when Morse sets off the alarm, leaving the building. By 10:50, Delling is returning his rental car to the airport. So
2 hours, not even.
Yeah, in an hour 20, he's back at the. He's murdered him, thrown him in a pond, and now is returning the rental car. So, wow, this is wild shit, man. Then Delling takes Morse's car.
Okay.
So I don't know if he got a taxi back there to steal his car or how he did that, but somehow he returned his car and steals. We know he steals Morse's car because of where he's found. So they also now they know there's 3 murders. They're starting the David Boss murder. The roommate knows that he was coming over, so they immediately focus in on Delling.
Sure.
They track him through, electronic shit, through his phone, through his bank accounts and stuff. They track him to airfare. Yeah. So they know what he's doing. They know where he's going. Then when the other Morse is shot, they were like, is there a connection there? It all fits, but they're like, they don't know each other. How the fuck do they know each other? So that doesn't make any sense. They didn't know what to do, but they're definitely trying to find Delling. They found that Delling has a list. There's more people on a list.
Oh, he's that guy.
He's got a list. The first 3 are the first 3 people on his list, and now he's got 4 more.
Oh no, he's got a list of 7?
He's got 7 people that are fucking up his aura that he needs to get rid of so he can not have his aura stolen, obviously. When you're the Sun King, you can't let people come at you like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? You got to go after you got to knock the biggest guy down the second you get there when you're the Sun King.
Go get the Nightman.
That's it. So wow. So they were terrified. They're like, where the fuck is he going? He could be going anywhere. This is a lieutenant in the Boise police. They said, after the U of I homicide and the Morse homicide, we had information that a Boise State student was in fear of John Delling. He said, I don't know what tied it all together, but we hoped that information would assist them. This helped a lot. Remember Matt Meyer, the guy who got attacked with the club?
Right.
He heard this was going on and contacted the police.
God.
And he said that he's been afraid of Delling for years. And after Boss's murder, he contacted the Boise police to offer tips and ask for protection.
Yeah.
He said that, quote, if he's here in Boise and he's snapped, he's going to be in the South End and he's armed and he won't leave the South End and it will be all night.
And so Sweeney better lock it up.
Yeah, he is going to kill motherfuckers. So they talked to, this is his brother Eric, John's brother Eric again here. And they said that the brother asked, is David Boss okay? And they ignored it. And then he said, I want to know if David is all right. And they said, boss is not all right. And his brother said, that goddamn John killed David, didn't he? Mm-hmm. So they finally track John down in Sparks, Nevada.
Oh.
Yes, driving Morse's car.
Uh-huh.
He's driving Morse's car. They tracked him through cell phone usage and set up a perimeter around the area where because they found his car empty, so they set up a perimeter around there. They found Delling lurking behind a bush. When police approached him and said, what's your name? He said, John Smith, which is a terrible fake name. And then he said, all right, fine, John Delling. They took him into custody. He was wearing an Idaho T-shirt and had Morse's Mazda keys in his front pocket. So it's all he's all sorts of connected here. So they searched the car. They find blood on a black leather jacket and the car's floorboard.
Yep.
They also find a .38 caliber revolver in the front passenger seat containing 3 live rounds and 2 spent casings. They also
even reload?
Doesn't even reload. Not after the last one. He did after Boss. They also found a box of Winchester .38 caliber jacketed hollow point ammunition with 10 rounds missing from the box. A digital camera was found, along with a March 26th Southwest Airlines ticket receipt from Sacramento to Boise and a bill of sale for the .38 caliber revolver with his signature on it. That gun matches the bullets that shot everybody. So, well, the last 2 anyway, not Thompson.
Right.
So, they got a lot of evidence on him. He's pretty fucked.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
The Meyer guy said he got some sleep that night finally.
For the first time since high school.
Listen to this quote. Quote, I was worried I would be 30-something years old with a family, with a career, and I'd be walking to my car and go to work one day, and some creepy guy would come up to my car and shoot me twice in the head. I knew someday it would eventually come to an end, either with me dying or him getting locked up.
Oh, boy.
This is crazy, man. Wow. So, yeah, they wanted to search the rental car, but it had been rented again by the time they got to it. So they're like, well, that's all trampled on. So now they're worried there might be other victims. The cops said, we've been overwhelmed with these possibilities. Who might have been the victims if he was planning another shooting? Why did he drive 6,500 miles in a month? What happened between March 20th and March 30th, which is murders? So they sent alerts to other departments along the possible routes that he could have taken to see if any unsolved shootings happened in that area. They said he had to eat, he had to sleep, he had to stop and get gas, he had to talk to people. We're hoping these people can help. There's certainly a long pattern of behaviors that put people in fear. Yeah, no shit. His parents, within 2 weeks, write a letter to the newspaper, the Idaho Statesman.
Yeah.
Basically to say, hey, not our fault.
We didn't do this.
Don't blame us.
Yeah.
They say, quote, to the Idaho Statesman, on behalf of our family, I'd like to express to anyone and everyone touched by the recent tragedies our deep sadness and loss and injury of those 3 fine young men. We have been grieving along with all of you and are still searching for answers as to why this happened. Please be unequivocally assured that everything under the law in our power was utilized to prevent anything serious. One thing is clear. There was no preventative safety net in place to correct or rein in a potentially serious situation. In legislation, no mental health entity nor any church-based aid could get a firm handle on this. John was very sick and needed more than this system had to offer. Our prayers go out to everyone, the Dellings. That complete absolution of our responsibility is what that is.
He's sick. It's his fault.
Listen, we tried. Nobody would help. Sorry. That's what it is. Our bad. Wow. And they said that it's so weird. One of the cops said, we just don't know if he had any close friends. By all the accounts we've got, the 2 people he shot were the nicest to him, which was Thompson and Boss. Right. So John then, while in jail, as he's sitting in Idaho jail here, he decides to give an interview to the Idaho Statesman newspaper.
Oh, we love that paper.
Very much against his attorney's advice. They're like, you don't do
talk
this.
To them.
He's
we
like,
trust them. My parents talked to them.
It's good.
Trust them.
It's cool. My parents sent the letter. He said, quote, I didn't have any intent to kill people. Let me put it that way. I'm pretty much possessed. I have no control over my body. pretty much possessed. That's how it works. I'm pretty much possessed. I'm sort of the Sun King. I don't know. He then told reporters that he had been sexually and mentally abused during his childhood and that another person was involved in the killings as well. He didn't do it alone. He did a 45-minute interview. He discussed, by the way, topics during this interview.
Oh, yellow.
Obviously, yellow and how we don't like it. Yellow.
And submarines.
No good. Me being the Sun King, possible vampire cults, possession, demon things in general.
Yeah.
Also, the Columbine school shootings.
Really?
And the shootings that left 32 people dead at Virginia Tech University as well.
Oh, what?
He's into that.
Why?
They said, are you into that sort of thing? And he said, well, I don't agree with those rampages completely, but I do understand and sympathize with the shooters, and I do consider them martyrs. So
yeah, because the idea is the right
I get it.
thing. It's
you don't know if he had his soul taken from him. You don't know that.
There's no way 32 were doing something to that man, but there was probably a couple of those.
He probably got at least a dozen people that were stealing his aura in there, I would assume, right?
What the fuck?
He says, quote, when you kill somebody, your solar plexus take in the power of that person and gives it to your god.
No.
Is he the Highlander? What the fuck are you talking about? This is ridiculous.
That's not what happens at all.
Yeah, he said he's been diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic and is being given medication in jail. He said he wasn't sure if the medication helped his condition. Judging from what he said, I would say no, because he's thinking all of this is still there. He does say that my mental health is very, very bad. No shit.
Agreed. Yeah.
You could talk to him for 5 minutes. Now, here's the mother of the earlier victim, the 13-year-old on the bike. Okay. She says, quote, hi, all. I am the mother of the boy that John terrorized in June of 2005 with his motorcycle.
Yeah.
For several weeks, my 3 sons had trouble with John, following them around town and harassing them. He on his motorcycle and them on their skateboards. They were all under the age of 18 at the time. On that day, they were innocently walking back home from uptown with some of their friends. They had seen John on the main road, so decided to cut through the Ivy Wild pool and come home that way, hoping to avoid him. Needless to say, he caught up with them and continued harassing the boys. There were 7 of them in all, ranging from ages 13 to 17. He was alone on his motorcycle. Most people in their right minds would not go up against a group of people. He is obviously not in his right mind then or now. He jumped the curb and headed straight for my youngest son, then 13.
Who does he think he is? Vanilla Ice?
He's doing it cool as ice. He's going to jump the fucking... Cut off a horse, jump a motorcycle over a fence in front of a horse. And then when a chick falls off and luckily doesn't break her neck, he's like, what's up, girl?
What's up, baby?
What's up, baby? I know you like people that almost kill you. What's happening?
I'm going to see you again.
Yeah. Drop that 0 and get with a hero. Oh, I want to fucking choke him in that movie. He was knocked to the ground and practically run over with the motorcycle. He had tire tracks running up the back of his shorts.
That's unbelievable.
He said, my boys are true redneck boys from the East mess.
Okay.
From the East. Mess with one and you get the whole enchilada. My oldest punched John in the face and tried pulling him off the bike. The middle one hit him a couple times as well, and my youngest, not wanting to be left out, hit him over the head with a skateboard. What a scene, man. Can you imagine witnessing that scene?
A bunch of white trash kids.
I would sit at my window and just watch this. Oh, I hope this never ends.
Baby, come look, some children. They're beating a man.
This is amazing. I'll hit him with the skateboard. It's getting good. Come on. Remember when I lived by the methadone clinic?
Yeah.
And that family right out in the street by my house had a big confrontation, and the one kid was swinging a broomstick at his whole family. He was swinging a broomstick back and forth, screaming, it's 911, Mom, call him, call him. It's 911, Mom, call him. While swinging a broomstick at like 8 of his relatives. It was awesome.
Like she forgot the number.
It was like 30 yards away, and we just sat in the driveway staring. We were like, whoa, this is awesome. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is better than TV. Like, this is so much better than anything.
This is better because a dude he thought he was in charge, man, with that motorcycle.
Yeah, he thought he was doing it.
And they corrected him and showed him that a fucking Tony Hawk is better.
Oh, my God. So she goes on to say, well, my husband and I were very naive and let the courts talk us into plea bargaining and let John off with taking anger management classes and a small amount of probation. As God is my witness, I told my mom and the victim services lady in court that, mark my words, he went from stalking to battery in such a short time. It's only a matter of time before he ends up killing someone because the courts keep letting him off.
Oh, God.
I dealt with some major guilt issues over that. If only we had pushed it further, maybe he would have spent time in jail and those poor boys and their families would not be suffering so much today. He'd have been out by then. Yeah. However, I'm not the only one who holds some blame here. The courts failed miserably. They should have seen the pattern was escalating and only going to get worse. They are the professionals and should have the training to recognize the signs. I just thank God that he hadn't quite gone over the edge when he went after my sons. Otherwise, things might have turned out very differently for us. Yeah, I would say. So that was from 2008.
So she thinks a judge should have recognized a man hit children with his motorcycle and got the shit kicked out of him, and that's an indicator that he's going to go kill people.
He's going to go on a murder
all
spree.
Over the place?
Yeah, or he's just kind of a random asshole. You know, that happens too. So
don't you just praise your boys for beating the fuck out of him.
No shit. The case gets delayed for over a year. Because of he was unfit to stand trial. He was found multiple times. A psychiatrist appointed to the court said that Delling had an hallucination in which he believed he was Jesus and had millions of children and could also see the future.
How's the jury going to see you, sir?
Jesus, millions of children, can see the future. Perfect. This is great. Yellow swirly thing, it's all going on. So the judge said, after a while, said that they were leaning toward letting Delling go to trial after hearing that his delusions had receded and his mental health had improved some.
Oh, boy.
So at the time, his defense lawyer said, I don't think he can understand what's going on here. He said, quote, if you're sitting with a client who believes he's Jesus, how can you expect him to make rational decisions?
Excellent point.
That's a really good point. He also said in the first case, in the Boss case, he believed that Boss was, quote, a wolf.
Oh.
And he shot him. In case 2, he said that he believes that a wolf or a supernatural figure of a wolf had ordered him to kill Morse. That's why he did that.
Okay.
So, problem is, this seems like the most just custom-made insanity case ever, right? It's well documented.
Slam dunk, yeah.
Well, in Idaho, insanity's not a defense. You're not allowed to use that.
What?
They got rid of they abolished the insanity defense in 1982 in Idaho.
Why'd they do that?
It doesn't remove the element of criminal responsibility for the crime. The prosecution's still required to prove it and all that kind of thing, but you're not allowed to say that mental condition is part of your defense.
That's not good because you have to be able to recognize wrong from right.
Yeah, even if you think you're a wolf and Jesus and a vampire and have millions of children and can see the future.
Oh, my God.
So they just proceed with this shit. He enters a guilty plea for the killing of Bradley Morse. Here. In exchange for the plea, they agree to drop a charge of theft and using a firearm in a crime. Mm-hmm. So we'll get to the whole thing here. He goes to court for the Delling thing next. That's a trial. And he's found guilty, obviously. I mean, there's no doubt he did it. It's for Boss. Yeah, for Boss.
Uh-huh.
So he goes to trial here. And during sentencing, he says, as I said, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yeah.
This ought to be good.
Turn on the spotlight.
Whoa.
Make sure that mic's hot.
Yeah, he said, quote, first of all, a sincere apology to the families, especially Dave's family, for what I did. Dave was a really good friend of mine. If it hadn't been what some people did to me, I'm not going to do anything like this ever again. So he trailed off. He said, if it hadn't been for what some people did to me, trailed off and said, I'm not going to do anything like this ever again. It's not even in my nature. Then he said, took a pause and said, this wouldn't have happened if other people hadn't been, quote, using me as Jesus or something like that, trying to sacrifice me to give other people eternal life. Like,
boy.
for real. Like, like, I'm trying to be nice here, and I feel bad for Dave's family, but, like, I'm also only human here. Or actually a vampire, Jesus, whatever I am. I don't know, a wolf possibly, I'm not sure.
I could be a sun god. You don't know.
Sun gods. So Sun King.
Right. King.
So the judge said, quote, and this is a judge, this is, take this in totality, how crazy this statement is. Quote, I don't question that's how he frames it in his own mind, but in my function here is to protect society. The district court went on to detail here how he then planned his attacks, do the whole thing. The judge talked about the whole thing and said, after detailing the complexity of the attacks, they said that the court did not believe that Delling had the ability to appreciate the wrongfulness of his conduct or conform to the conduct of the requirements of the law, which is the definition of the insanity.
That's insanity, right.
But Idaho doesn't have that. That doesn't matter in Idaho. It doesn't matter. The judge then went on to say there's no denying that Delling was motivated solely by paranoid schizophrenia. But she also agreed with prosecutors that he showed cunning and forethought in his crimes and could hide his delusions when it suited him. That makes him especially dangerous to society. She said it's unfortunate that Delling's illness didn't hamper his ability to plan or carry out the murders, and she said he could have carried out more if he hadn't been stopped. She said there's evidence of enormous premeditation. There were 4 other people on the list that were also marked for death as a result of the defendant's delusions. His mental illness does not affect his lethality. It's unfair and unreasonable to place society at any risk. He could conceal his delusions and act on them against anybody again.
Yes.
He's
That's
a fucking
problem.
lunatic. He's crazy. You, sir, may fuck off. Now, the sentence could range anywhere from 10 years to life for this. A lot of leeway in this. 2 life sentences, no parole.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
Sincerely, yeah. There's no
This isn't
2 ways about it.
It's not a funny thing, or
No.
it's funny, but it's not like a funny thing like, oh, he's a little loopy, or he's acting crazy, or he's trying to get... He's a fucking maniac. He has no idea what he's doing.
His situation isn't funny. His fucking words are funny. What he did isn't funny.
No, but what he thinks is
fucking
crazy.
nuts. Yeah.
So the American Psychiatric Association and the American Academy of Psychiatry and the Law, American Academy of Psychiatry and the Law, filed an amicus brief, which is a friend of the court brief, in support of his request to have his case heard by the Supreme Court. They said for centuries and in virtually all American jurisdictions, the law has recognized that when serious mental illness prevents a defendant from grasping that his conduct was wrong, the defendant should not be held criminally responsible. Under the statutory scheme in place in Idaho, Delling could not defend against the charge of second-degree murder by showing, as the district court accepted, that he has no ability to appreciate the wrongfulness of his conduct. Jesus, this court should grant and hold that his case and also should rule so it abolishes this law. So November of 2012, the Supreme Court refused to consider whether a criminal defendant has a constitutional right to plead not guilty by reason of insanity. They rejected his appeal. Idaho is one of only 4 states that barred defendants from claiming they were legally insane or unable to appreciate what they did was wrong. It is Idaho, Kansas, Montana, and Utah.
Well, right there together.
Open space is the only thing they have in common, I guess. But the U.S. Supreme Court has chosen not to address the constitutionality of the defense scheme, even though it's been presented with the opportunity to do so, they say. And they didn't say shit about it, basically. Stephen Breyer was interested in it and made some, put like a thing out. But other than that, nobody really cared. December 2016, holy balls. He's in jail at the Idaho State Correctional Institution near Kuna in southwest Idaho. They have him in a medium security facility.
What?
And he attempts to escape.
Of course he does.
He jumps 2 fences. He climbed over 2 6-foot fences and then was in the midst of climbing over 12-foot razor wire fences.
Oh, Jesus.
When he was caught by the prison didn't find him. A cop passing by saw a fucking guy on this fucking 12-foot razor wire fence of a prison, which is a bad sign, and called the prison and went, "Hey, you missing one?"
Check all your cells, guys.
I think I know where he is, possibly.
Somebody's either getting out or climbing in. You may
I don't know what's
look.
going on. Either way, it's something you should probably be aware of. So he gets caught, and he's moved to the maximum security institution instead, near Kuna. So that's where he is. He is there. He's serving his 2 life sentences. He's not going to get out. There's a mailing address for him here. John Joseph Delling, number 93454, Idaho Maximum Security Institution, C Block, P.O. Box 51, Boise, Idaho 83707. So, I don't know. I guess
don't write
him.
That man is dangerous. Don't let him know your name or where you live.
Oh no! If he ever gets out, he's coming to your house.
God.
He's definitely coming over to say hi.
Yeah.
He's going to track you down. Now it's much easier to track people down too. 2007. Right.
Yeah.
You didn't even have like all of their social media shit to hone in on them. You had to do it in different ways. Like you had to really know what you were doing.
And his hello is so dangerous. He said hello to 3 people, and they're all, it's over.
It's quick. None of them, there was no conversation. There was no, why you stealing my aura, bro?
No.
Like, you'd think he would say, why the fuck you stealing my aura?
Let's talk about it first.
None of that shit. Yeah, let's see. Give it back. I don't know.
Yeah.
Put it back into my solar plexus, but he doesn't seem to give a shit. So
cough it up.
There you go. That, everybody, is Moscow, Idaho. Crazy-ass story. If you like that, get on whatever app you're on. Give us 5 stars. It really does help. Say something nice. It helps drive us up the charts and does your boys well. So thank you if you do that. And if you don't do that, I don't know. You're mean. So
you're not. My aura.
You're stealing my aura, man. I'm the Sun King. I need that. So do that. Follow us on social media. Also, we are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook. You definitely want to head over to shutupandgivememurder.com today. What's there? Tickets to all sorts of shit. Not only the shows coming up here March. We have the 23rd, 4th, and 5th. We're in Seattle for 2 shows, 23rd, 24th, 25th in Portland. Then we are in Pittsburgh and Detroit in May. Then the rest of the tickets are on sale March 3rd for the whole rest of the year. Chicago, everything. Minneapolis, Denver, Salt Lake, San Diego, Atlanta,
Charlotte,
DC, Boston, Dallas, Charlotte. We're going to all these places. So get your tickets right now, or get your tickets March 3rd for those right now for the rest of them, the earlier shows. And also get your tickets for the April 20th 420 virtual live show.
It's going to be great.
We can't wait. You should see what Sarah's doing to that studio. Boy, it is weed-themed and going to be a good time. Boy. I'm going to get Jimmie real stoned, and we're going to laugh our balls off about a crazy murder case, just like a regular live show. But you're in your living room. You don't have to deal with traffic or people or any of that bullshit. So check that out. That's April 20th, and you can get those tickets right now and anytime up to there. And the show's available for a week after we air it, too. So you can see it anytime for a week after that.
Shut up and give me... in the corner.
Yes. From laughter. Shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get all of that. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get everything else. Your bonus episodes. Anybody $5 a month or above is going to get everything. Yes. You name it. The whole back catalog, 150 plus bonus episodes and new episodes every other week. 2 new ones. 1 crime and sports, 1 small town murder. You get it all. This week for crime and sports, we're going to talk about death row baseball teams from like 100 years ago, 120 years ago. There was always just a picture with like 10 murderers and an 8-year-old, and they all wore the same uniform. We're going to find out what the fuck happened there. And then for small town murder, something really cool, we're going to talk about defunct failed theme parks.
Great.
They're now just rotting hulks of rides and an old Ferris wheel and shit. We're going to talk about why things didn't work out.
Why did the Tilt-A-Whirl stop?
Bad location, bad idea, who the fuck knows? We'll find it all out. Patreon.com/crime and sports, and you get a shout out at the end of the regular show.
Yes.
You want to follow us on social media? Very easy to do that. Head over to Shut Up and Give Me Murder. While you're getting your tickets, click on those links and you can get... We're there. So there you go. Find us, and you can follow us on social media. That said, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure. If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
It takes one guy out there to say, who's that Kyle who thinks he can just get on a microphone on a podcast and start publicizing this?
From iHeart Podcasts and Tenderfoot TV comes a new true crime podcast, Crook County.
I got recruited into the mob when I was 17 years old.
Meet Kenny, an enforcer for the legendary Chicago outfit.
And that was my mission, to snuff the life out of this guy.
He lived a secret double life as a firefighter-paramedic for the Chicago Fire Department.
I had a wife and I had 2 children. Nobody knew anything.
People are dying. Is he doing this every night?
Torn between 2 worlds.
I'm covering up murders that these cops are doing.
He was a freaking crazy man.
We don't know who he is, really.
He is my father, and I had no idea about any of this until now. Welcome to Crook County. Available now. Listen for free on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.